Welcome to Crisis in Perception, where we examine the systems shaping our world, one book at a time. So today we're diving into Saving Capitalism by former Secretary of Labor Robert Reich. Now, he argues that if you really want to understand our economy, we have to start with a question that, honestly, most of us never even think to ask. I mean, it seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? But here's the thing. Reich's entire argument is that the answer to this question reveals the hidden machinery that shapes our entire economic world. So, yeah, let's peel back that first layer. To even get there, though, Reich says we first have to dismantle what he calls the single biggest distraction in modern politics. You know this battle. We see it play out constantly. One side is pulling for more government intervention, regulations and public spending. The other side is yelling for the free market. Less government, more private enterprise. We're told this is the fundamental conflict. But Reich comes in and says this whole debate is a total distraction. He calls the very idea of a free market that exists separate from government a myth, and a dangerous one at that, because it stops us from seeing what's really going on behind the scenes. And that brings us to the core insight of the entire book. The market isn't some force of nature, like gravity or the weather. It's a system that we built, and it runs on rules. Now, this flips the whole debate on its head. Government doesn't intrude on the market. Government creates the conditions for the market to even exist. Without rules, you don't have a market. You just have chaos. Reich breaks this down into 5 fundamental building blocks, and for each one, a decision has to be made. A rule has to be written. What can be owned? Can you own an idea, a song? How much power can one company have? What happens when debts can't be paid? These aren't laws of nature. They're the man-made DNA of our market. So, if the market is built on all these foundational rules, well, the next logical question is, who gets to write them? And this is where it all comes together. The rules are never neutral. They're shaped by power and influence, which means the outcome, who gets what, isn't just about merit or hard work. It's actually baked into the very structure of the game itself. Which, of course, leads to the obvious question, if the powerful are the ones setting the rules, is everybody really playing the same game? This brings us to the book's central metaphor. The problem isn't necessarily that the game is rigged, but that the entire playing field is tilted. Over time, the rules get subtly adjusted to favor those who have the power to influence them, which just makes it easier for them to win. Let's make this concrete. Take CEO pay. Back in the mid-20th century, the average CEO made about 20 times more than their typical worker. Today, it's over 200 times. Reich argues this wasn't an accident or just market forces. It was a direct result of changing the rules around stuff like stock options and corporate governance. So why did this happen? Well, a key reason Reich points to is the collapse of what he calls countervailing power. Think of forces like strong labor unions or local community banks. For decades, they acted as a balance, a check on the power of huge corporations. As those institutions got weaker, the playing field has just tilted even more dramatically. So once you start to see the market this way, not as a force of nature, but as a human-made system of rules and power, it forces us to ask a completely different and way more fundamental question. And this is the huge shift in perspective the book offers. The real debate isn't more government versus less government. It's about the purpose of the market itself. Is it organized to create prosperity for lots of people, or is it designed to deliver almost all of the gains to a select few at the very top? And that's really the question this book leaves us with. It reframes our entire understanding of the economy. It suggests that if we want different outcomes, we can't just keep arguing about taxes and spending. We have to look deeper at the very rules of the game and ask that simple, powerful question: who is this all for? For the full, long-form deep dive into this book and its ideas, follow the link in the description. If you enjoy these explainers, please subscribe and comment with books or topics we should explore next.